How to make super giant bubble formula and learn some tricks. So we're about to learn how to make an amazing bubble formula. Whether you want to do giant bubbles outside or giant bubbles inside, whether you want to entertain your own kids, whether you want to just do it at parties professionally, this is a perfect bubble formula to start with. It's the one I use, it's the one I use to entertain my own children. So let's begin. How do we make that? What do we need? The first thing we're going to need is a bucket. I don't mean to laugh because it's the obvious thing we're going to need, but we need a bucket. And I will also put a link to the description of all the items I'm using below. The next thing we're going to need is a detergent. I love Fairy Liquid, but you can use any detergent. You might live in a country that doesn't sell this and they have something called Dawn, but any detergent will work. This is just my preferred one. Next thing we're going to need is our guar gum. I highly recommend this. You don't need to add it to this bubble formula. Most people wouldn't even recommend the guar gum, but I highly recommend it. It will give the bubbles that extra je ne sais quoi. It's perfect for sculpting bubbles. It's perfect for big bubbles. It just gives it that extra strength. Highly recommended. And also it's gluten-free, so that's a bonus. The next thing you're going to need is vegetable glycerin. This is going to make our bubbles stretchy. It's also going to allow it to heal, so if you do tricks like bubble inside bubble. The next thing you need is a teaspoon. This is going to be for our measurements, and also a bowl. The next thing we're going to need is a jug. This should be the most simplest thing, but unfortunately it's very complicated. I live in England and we have a different metric system. We also drive on a different side of the road. If you didn't know that, interesting fact about England. I'm going to be using litres, but also you might use ounces. I will also put a list of measurements below, just so it's not confusing. So in the description, there'll be a list of measurements. Unfortunately, I don't know anything other than the UK metric system, but I do know that we have 36 ounces equals 1 litre. So I do know that. So the first thing we're going to do is take a teaspoon of guar powder and just place that in our bowl. Just a teaspoon. We're now going to add 2 teaspoons of vegetable glycerin to our guar powder. So 1, it doesn't matter if it overspills, and 2. And this is just going to make a really good slurry. So we give that a nice little mix like this. We're going to mix it up like that. Look at how good that looks. It's like gooey slurry. Making our strongs powerful. It is the sixpence bubble. Dum 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 dum. Sorry, just being a clown. This is how I entertain myself. So we've now made our amazing slurry. Now we're going to add our slurry to the bucket. Now we're going to add 36 ounces of water or 1 litre, depending on measurements. And add that in. And again, you can use the spoon if you like. And just give that a nice stir. We're now going to add another 36 ounces of water or 1 litre. I've now measured out 200 millilitres of detergent or 8 ounces. We're going to add our detergent to our bucket and we give that a good mix with your spoon. We now add our last 36 ounces of water. Again, another litre of water. I'll stop saying ounces. Now we just stir it again and we can let it set for half an hour. First of all, you're going to dip your hands into the bubble solution. It's like a gooey mess. Now, if you have any allergies to bubbles or soap or your sensitive skin, you can do this wearing rubber gloves. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make your hand like this and you're going to make a film. Can you see that? If you blow into it, it'll go up and down. You're now going to bring your hand like this and you're going to blow. And now you have a giant bubble. And now, because of the bubble formula, look how strong that is. This is great. You can do super strong bubbles and you can play around with it. And if you bring your hand like this, you can break off bubbles. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. And you get loads of little bubbles, which is just fun. So that's a quick trick you can do. We're now going to learn how to do a bubble launcher. There's 2 ways to do this. You can do a big bubble or you can do lots of little bubbles. So let me show you little bubbles. You take your mouth and you're going to go, it's like a blow like that. Add the bubbles. And what happens is you get a bubble inside a bubble. The easier method to do the bubble launch is this. Bring your hands into a triangle and you're going to blow here and you give it a big blow and you can get a big bubble inside a bubble.